Did you bring anything for the clothing drive?
No.
Too bad. You get a free Bud Light for every article of clothing you donate.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 funniest band commercials.
The big orange fella running from the left, and he gives him a good old slapping.
We've got chemistry here. You feel it?
I felt it.
All right, Janice.
For this list, we're looking at hilarious ads that were pulled from screens. Some of these commercials may have kept running in certain areas. However, if the ad was banned or pulled at any point in any place in the world, it is eligible for this list. Let us know in the comments which commercial you can't believe advertisers ever thought was a good idea. Number 20. Cheesy Dads. Philadelphia Cheese. In 2019, the United Kingdom began enforcing legislation that banned, quote, harmful gender stereotypes in advertisements. A light Philadelphia cheese commercial felt the brunt of this new directive when it was released. The ad shows two dads in a coffee shop that had a conveyor belt delivering various cheese-based products snaking around the shop floor.
Oh, this looks good. That's really good. Well, that's the Philadelphia.
Enticed by a cream cheese bagel, the dads absent-mindedly put their babies on the conveyor belt. Fortunately, their children were unharmed.
Let's not self-harm.
The ad was banned for supposedly making dads look careless and for stereotyping women as more capable caregivers. However, we'd argue that anyone would have been enticed by that cheese in this amusing ad.
Our view was that this ad really featured a kind of classic daddy doofus stereotype and basically suggests that men are less capable of looking after their children than women, and that is harmful.
Number 19. A flatulent first date. Smart beep. Most people would probably find this ad relatively inoffensive. A woman who thinks she's alone in a car lets one rip while her date is outside the vehicle. However, his friends are in the back.
You guys meet? Greg, Janice?
We sure did.
The commercial says the bachelorette's behavior was dumb before highlighting its smart beeper. While a funny fart joke might not be the best way to sell a product, surely people can't get that upset about a normal bodily function. Well, the censors at Fox apparently did.
Call 1-800-BEEP-199 for other smart stuff.
They took issue with this flatulent smart beep commercial and had it pulled. Outside of Fox, the commercial star Claire Solstrom appeared on The Late Late Show to talk about how fun the fart was to shoot.
Well, the audition, I didn't know it was for a fart. My agent didn't tell me. I guess they told a lot of people.
They always leave that part out.
Yeah, they knew I'd do it. They knew I'd go in.
Number 18. Kim Cattrall's car commercial. Nissan Tita. Though Sex and the City had been off the air for around 2 years when this ad aired, Kim Cattrall was brought in to reprise her role as Samantha for this Nissan commercial. It's made in the same style as the sultry show, with Cattrall dishing about the ride of her life over the phone.
Really smooth, great looking, amazing body.
She's hilariously talking about the Nissan Tita and not her latest fling.
It was so much bigger than I expected.
But that wasn't enough for New Zealand's regulators. While the innuendos in her dialogue were the only provocative part of the ad, it received complaints. Nissan eventually decided to get ahead of the scandal and pull the ad themselves.
The all-new Nissan Tita makes you feel really, really,
oh yeah,
really good inside.
Number 17. A bad place to read. Audible. You wouldn't think an ad for Audible would have anything offensive in it, let alone dangerous, but the Australians didn't agree.
Can't think of a better time for a book.
The Chamber of Secrets has been opened.
Popular Aussie comedian Celeste Barber starred in this spot about finding opportunities to listen to an audiobook during your daily routine. She's joined by Po Ling Yao of MasterChef fame.
Audible is amazing when you're cooking up a storm. Oh. What's cooking, Po?
A scene where Barber is jokingly found sitting inside Po's refrigerator earned the ire of regulators. There were claims that the commercial was dangerous because impressionable viewers might copy the chilling act.
Hey.
Outside of the controversial scene, it's still a fun Audible ad. Number 16. A time of the month talk show. Tampax. The funniest thing about this ad is the idea that Tampax would ever have its own talk show just to advertise menstrual products.
How many of you ever feel your tampon?
But the whole point of talking about that time of the month went over a lot of people's heads. Unfortunately, the ad was widely complained about and ultimately banned in Ireland for being offensive.
It might mean your tampon isn't in far enough. You gotta get them up there, girls!
In an ironic twist, the ban might have been more slammed than the ad. People rightfully pointed out that there's nothing vulgar about talking about an incredibly common item half the population uses. And the commercial's humor was a great way to get an important message across.
Not just the tip, up to the grip. So get them up there, girl, with Tampax.
Number 15, inappropriate shaking. For goodness shakes. Moving from one part of the human body to another, this protein shake commercial implies that the men it stars are doing something incredibly inappropriate in public places. The men are actually trying to get their protein shakes just right. Luckily, For Goodness Shakes is here to provide protein shakes that are ready to drink right away. So, unlike the men in this ad, you will avoid any hilarious mix-ups in public while trying to mix your protein drink. The commercial's logical explanation didn't prevent it from being seen as too edgy for TV. It is not surprising to hear it was banned by the UK's Advertising Authority. Number 14, cheated out of chicken. Burger King. Above being racy or inappropriate, there's another big issue lots of advertisers face when making their commercials. They're not supposed to lie or mislead the audience. That is exactly why a humorous Burger King ad from 2010 was banned in the UK. It shows a man who snuck out to a motel room to enjoy the new Tender Crisp chicken. But he's caught in the act by a jealous cow that wants him to eat beef instead.
Sweetie.
It wasn't banned because of the implication that this man has a weird connection with a jealous cow. Nope. It was pulled because the real Tender Crisp chicken sandwich is a lot smaller than the one shown.
So good, you'll cheat on beef.
Number 13, taking care of chores. Wodka Vodka. This ad from 2011 was allegedly banned for its gender stereotypes. It was part of a long-running campaign by Wodka Vodka, a Polish liquor company. In this commercial, a woman says she'll get the house clean and cook a nice dinner for her partner while he's at work.
I'll have this all cleaned up. I'll make you a nice dinner.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, baby.
But it's revealed that her private profession involves her forcing male clients to do household chores.
2 cups flour. Stir. Don't speak. Faster. Stir.
Either the racy content or depiction of a woman being placed in a traditional role might have earned the ad a ban. As offensive as some may have found it, the commercial features funny and creative problem solving. Though, admittedly, it's not entirely clear what any of this has to do with vodka.
You like? I slaved all day.
Number 12. An orange man tangos too hard. Tango. This Tango ad features a man painted orange going up and slapping another man who's just opened a can of Tango, an orange-flavored soda sold in the UK.
Why, yes, Tony, let's look again.
This hit apparently represents the overwhelming tang you taste when you take your first sip. This silly commercial was banned in the UK after it allegedly caused an epidemic of impressionable viewers slapping each other.
Oh, a real oranges in Tango.
Yes, Ralph. Super taste sensation, smashing drink, lovely.
After news of these supposed incidents broke, the ad was pulled from the air and replaced with a less violent orange man. Despite the controversy, the You Know When You've Been Tangoed campaign continued to bring wild success to the company.
Whoa! He's enveloped by the big wet pot of oranges in Tango!
Number 11. Everybody's Doing It. PS Vita. This is another ad that initially seems like it was only banned for being far too suggestive. In the commercial, a doctor claims viewers are doing it far more often than is healthy.
How many times did you do it yesterday? Are you afraid you're doing it too often?
Obviously, by doing it, she means playing on Sony's handheld PlayStation Vita with the new remote play feature.
You no longer have to feel ashamed. Everybody's doing it because it's fantastic.
This funny remote play commercial turned out to be no laughing matter for Sony. The ad was lambasted for being misleading about Vita function, as well as its inappropriate phrasing. Sony claimed it was cross-platform gaming, when really you're just streaming your console to a handheld.
And if you want to, you could even join me.
Ultimately, this doctored ad and more like it caused the company to lose money over false advertising. Number 10. Rooting against England. Six Nations Rugby Championship.
England!
When you initially watch this commercial, it seems like everybody is supporting the English rugby team in the lead-up to 2012's Six Nations Rugby Championship.
England.
Without doubt.
But you'll see a hilariously unexpected truth when you look closer.
England.
England. England.
The people voicing their support for England are wearing flags and coats of arms from different countries that also compete. Fans from Wales, Ireland, and Italy are all seen. A tagline reveals that these people are actually naming the country they want to lose the tournament. The BBC pulled the trailer over fears it would upset the English, before pulling another similar ad in 2017. Number 9. Hiding a fling. Hyundai. In this car commercial, we see an older woman driving with a much younger man in her vehicle. She then sees her husband driving in a different car up ahead and puts the passenger seat all the way back so the husband won't see her companion. At the end of the commercial, though, it's revealed that the husband, also driving a Hyundai, is hiding an affair too. It just so happens that he's accompanied by a young man wearing a cowboy hat. It's unclear exactly what about this ad got it banned, but either way, it was a clever way to show off a car's passenger seat. Number 8. Prison Visitor. Vim Cream. We open on a shot of a woman behind a glass screen and her young daughter seemingly visiting her in prison. But it's quickly revealed that the mom isn't in prison at all. She's actually trapped in her bathtub.
I gotta get back.
Any adult knows that cleaning the bathroom is probably the worst of all household jobs. Vim offered to expedite the process with its flashy cleaning cream.
I love you, Mama.
I love you too, baby.
Despite being widely acclaimed in the advertising world, this ad was supposedly pulled at one time. Maybe the prison setup was too much for some viewers to handle. Number 7. Risking Dudeness. Veet. Unlike many other contentious commercials, these ads were part of an extensive campaign, so there are quite a few of them that all follow the same trend. They went out in 2014 and implied that a woman forgetting to shave or wax for a day would make her turn into an extremely hairy man.
I shaved yesterday.
Multiple people, including a beautician, a cab driver, and an extremely judgmental paramedic, were horrified at the existence of body hair on a woman.
I shaved yesterday.
We understand that Veet is a company that makes hair removal products and needs to advertise them. But despite some potential for sharp social commentary, pretty much everybody felt these commercials missed the mark.
Don't risk dudeness.
Number 6. Lab Rat Test. Nintendo Game Boy Micro. The Game Boy took the world by storm as a wildly popular handheld. Its micro version rounded out the Game Boy family when it was released in 2005. But one ad could have ruined Nintendo's mostly family-friendly image. We see a rat placed in a maze with a Game Boy and a piece of cheese. Scientists mean to test whether the food or handheld is more irresistible. Naturally, the rat chooses the Game Boy. But things definitely cross a line when the rat appreciates the Game Boy Micro way too much. Given the inappropriate content in a commercial aimed at kids, it's easy to see why this hilariously unexpected ad may have been downplayed. Number 5. Grim Reaper. Hyundai Veloster. Although it's always good for any car manufacturer to focus on how safe its latest vehicle is, Hyundai definitely took it a little too far in this commercial for the Veloster.
Ben je zeker?
Ja, echt. Laatste stukje loop ik wel, hoor.
In it, we see a woman being driven home in a Ford Focus. Unfortunately, she forgets to look both ways when she gets out. She immediately gets into a car accident thanks to the Grim Reaper's influence.
Okay, tot snel.
We then see the same scenario play out again, but this time she's in a Hyundai Veloster. Since it's a 3-door, she gets out on the other side and avoids the accident, while the Grim Reaper gets a hilarious comeuppance.
Tot snel.
In a rare instance, Hyundai decided to take the ad out of rotation before it was fully banned. Number 4. Standoff. Xbox 360. At the beginning of the Xbox 360's life cycle, Microsoft advertised its new flagship console a little aggressively. Though it was a great device, the company's Standoff ad wasn't as well regarded. It was meant to be an innocent ad where strangers used imaginary finger guns in a big pretend showdown. The commercial was even shown off by Microsoft at a few promotional events and was presumably intended to be put on TV. While the commercial was played for fun, there were questions if the ad was making light of violent acts. In yet another example of a company trying to avoid future controversy, Microsoft decided not to air the ad. The zany finger gun battle was left to only exist in our imaginations. Number 3. Clothing drive. Bud Light. In this attention-grabbing Super Bowl ad, an office clothing drive promises to give people a Bud Light for every item of clothing donated.
Morning, Bob. Morning, Jim.
This leads to office workers giving away every piece of clothing on their bodies. Though the nudity is all censored, the amusing concept quickly grows uncomfortable as the ad goes on. It was ultimately deemed too much for television. But it's not the only banned Bud Light advert to get in trouble. A commercial with an over-the-top pillow fight was criticized for violence.
Helga! No! You cut these out! No! Not you! Cut these out!
And yet another ad about 2 skinny dippers was also pulled from screens for the risque content. Number 2. In the Hole. KGB. This is another Super Bowl spot that didn't get past the censors. Designed to be as shocking as possible, it features 2 golfers who get their heads stuck in their rear ends after discussing climate change.
He's got his head up his ass.
Not the first time.
The ad makes it clear that they don't really know much about the subject. Seeing as KGB is a fact-checking service, the crux of the ad is that if you don't use them, you'll end up just like these unfortunate golfing guys.
Next time your husbands don't have a clue, make sure they text KGB first.
The commercial is definitely funny and memorable. However, CBS kept KGB's ad off its airways.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The Last Dictator Standing. Nando's. The last thing you should be doing while you're trying to advertise a chicken restaurant is featuring a roster of the world's most notorious dictators.
Days, my friend.
But that's exactly what Nando's did in this insane commercial from 2011. It featured Zimbabwean dictator Robert Mugabe, who was still alive at the time, hanging out with Colonel Gaddafi, Mao Zedong, and even Saddam Hussein. The ad ends with the suggestion that Mugabe is upset that his fellow autocrats have been removed from power because he doesn't have anyone to share his chicken with.
No one should ever have to eat alone. So get a Nando's 6-pack meal for 6.
They say there's no such thing as bad publicity. But this ad would firmly disagree. After staff received threats of boycotts and even violence, the commercial was pulled.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.